in the beginning of your career, me and you, same way. Everybody want us to work out and do all this type of stuff. It can help you with baseball. And we were like, okay, but why? We just want to go hit in the cage and play baseball. And we don't think that's important. But now you got like 30 years in the big leagues at this point, and you're catching 130, 140 games. And earlier in your career, everybody say, hey, Salvy, you can't do this because when you get to the back end of your career, it's not going to help you. You're going to be tired. It's going to hurt your knees and all that type of stuff. And you just keep getting better and better and better, hitting 40 homers and all that. So how have you learned to now, I got to eat a little healthier sometimes. I got to work out. How have you learned to take care of your body?
Yeah, I wish I can listen to the people tell me there was too many games in my career. Yeah, but I think everything started in the off-season, and one of the guys motivation me was Alex Gordon. Mm-hmm. You know how hard he worked, too. So every day, it's crazy. Every day to the gym, at Oli Changma, 37 years old, he still throw 103, So when I look myself in the mirror, what kind of player you want to be? Or who you want to be in this game, okay? You just want to be a guy just make it to a big league, cup of coffee and bye-bye? Or you want to, do something good, So I think everything started in the off-season. We love to play. You know that. We play together for a long time, and we don't like to see ourselves out of the lineup, Because when you prepare yourself in the off-season for 162 games, I know it's super hard, and I get it when people tell me that, Salvy, it's hard to catch 162 games. But I catch 150 plus 17 in playoffs, so what's the difference, Yeah. So I'm like, I'm ready. I prepare myself in the off-season. I try to eat better. Arepa is so good, man. That's my wife. Arepa, right? Papa, no.
Hey, there would be times where we were sitting there in the locker after a game, and the bench coach would come up to Salvy, hey, you got tomorrow off. He said, no. And he goes right into the office with Ned, hey, Salvy wants to play. Good save.
Coffee guy, huh? You want me to see?
Right here, Bob. Right here, man.
Come on, Bob.
You still look like 25, man.
Nah. El Nino.
El Nino.
Easy question from me, okay?
Nothing but easy questions, okay?
No questions, it's easy.
Me and El Nino go back. You were 16 years old. I was 17 or 17. I was 18.
You were 16. Wow. I was 42.
Hey, you tell everybody where you come with me, amor?
No, I didn't tell everybody. You tell.
Romac?
Do you remember Romac?
Yes.
No, Papi, what a memory, Papu.
Yeah. Mucho memory now.
Yeah, he went from Nino to mi amor. Every time I see him, mi amor. We love each other so much. Go so far back. But now, El Capitan. Goodness, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. Sweeney, I was in Texas last year, and JJ, Skip, Sweeney was there. And like, hey, we all think about you a lot. We know what you do for the city, for this thing. And I think it's time to wear the C in the chest. Oof. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. No, but it's like, we got young guys. Last year was a young group. And I'm like, hey, I think they not ready. So why I have to wear the C? And let me think about it, please, So let me call my wife, my mom. What you guys think about this? How the young guys, is gonna look me after that? And they was like, okay. So the next day, exhibition game takes, and like, Skip, I don't think I'm ready for that. I think, they already see me like that, so I don't think I have to wear the C. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you. And like, okay, Salvy, we respect your decision and all that. And okay. Opening day. Boom. Super excited thinking about opening day. I saw in the board meeting, like 2 hours before the game. And like, okay. Midi, I see my shirt, Papa no. So I see it, Sweeney, George Bray start to talk about, hey, have a great season, come on, have fun, play hard, skip, I wish you the best, God bless everybody, oh, thank you. Sweeney get up on a jersey. And like, hey, Salvy, I know you tell me that you don't want to do it, but hey, you're the captain now. So that's like, oh my God, so I get up and they were excited, you know, and you know, that's how they want me to be a captain.
That's crazy.
Mala tuya. So El Capitan, right? So let's go back to El Nino.
El Nino. He's the first guy to come in Nino.
See, we played rookie ball together.
Uh-huh.
And what's so special about me and you, we're brothers, not even best friends,
Yeah,
brothers, family. In the beginning of our friendship, some of the stuff we've already said on here, you know, you from Venezuela, you come at a young age. I'm straight out of high school. My mom's Cuban, but I don't know Spanish. I should know Spanish.
Yeah, we my
Mala mia. I'm still trying to learn. So we hit it off instantly in rookie ball. We don't even speak the same language. And immediately, like, stuff happens in the game. We just find ways to communicate with each other in the locker room, on the bus, all type of stuff. And we shared the subway story in Burlington.
Now I know how to say meatballs. Now I know how to say meatball. Yeah.
Full long.
Look at it.
But, okay, so you come from El Nino at 17 years old, learning how to speak English, learning the language, to now being the captain and being the leader of a city, of a team, all that. So for the young guy to come over at a young age, what helped you get more comfortable here in the U.S., get more comfortable with your teammates, and feel confident to do stuff like you're doing now?
Yeah, I think first thing the young guy has to do is try to, you know, learn the English, you know, because you have to communication. You know, we're coming from Venezuela, Dominican, anywhere, you know, to come into the United States. So you have to have communication. You have to, you know, sometimes it's kind of hard for us. You know,
hard. It's very hard.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, it's a little hard. But I think Kansas City do something special for the young guys. Then we got teacher. We got Monica Ramirez.
Yeah.
That he helped the young guys to trying to learn English.
Do you remember those classes when you were 16?
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember me coming?
For try to learn Spanish.
To try to learn Spanish?
Yes. So,
Why you don't invite me?
Mala mia. So, yeah, I'm like, I put Kansas City for that. But at the same time, after one game, we're super tired. We go back to the hotel. We spend Holiday Inn, something like that, in the Bell Road, yeah. Kind of tired. We get back to the hotel, so we have to get up every day, yeah. You know, I think the class was like 6 p.m. So, yeah, some people coming like, you know, tired, they don't want to listen, they don't want to pay attention. So they should pay a little bit more attention to that because we're going to need it. So I think I was so blessed that I got guys like, you know, like Eric, like Telly that was there with me and help because he cared. I think to live in Miami, you know, born and raised in Miami, my mom from Cuba and all that, he can understand a little bit more, you know. To the Latin player. So he always there, not even for me, for everybody, you know. I think we're so blessed too. That's what I think. So I think first thing is learn English, you know, communication. And when you don't know something, just ask. Because if you're afraid to ask, you're never gonna learn.
That's an attitude thing though too, he had from the get-go. He was in those classes, doing what he had to do, but he was also hanging out. Even though it was early, he's still trying to figure out the language. He wanted to be around it. I mean, you still see him today walking around, smiling around the field. That's no act. Like, that's Salvy. From day one, like, he's been around everybody, always smiling, happy, wanting to communicate whether he could speak it or not. If not, he asked for help, just like you said. So I think, one, the Royals did a great job doing that, but two, if you have the attitude to go out and want to learn and figure it out, you're going to, and Salvy, top notch, baby.
And communication too for pitcher to catcher. You have to be able to communicate with your pitcher.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
And the best at it. Yeah. I keep telling you guys, I had one pitch, man.
You don't have to speak.
I was easy.
Hey, the sinker feel good today? But no, slider.
Hey, I saw the sinker move good.
Hey, what do you think about slider? I'm like, all right, Salvy, we'll go slider again. Let's
What's
go.
really
Great
interesting to me, just hearing all of this, so having a lot of experience, like you all, going from clubhouse to clubhouse in the minor leagues, talking to the American-born players, first time playing with players who are from other countries, and then talking to the Latin players or players from other countries, first time playing with American players who speak English, and coaches. As a let's say a Latin player, you have a coach who doesn't speak Spanish trying to communicate with you, and you're like, yeah, and then you leave, you're like, I have no idea what the coach just said to me. And so I wonder how did you guys build this? Because it is not easy. It is not easy for someone who speaks a different language and a different culture to be able to connect with somebody else.
It was, you know what, man? Honestly, it took both groups of people. You know what I mean? So me being from Miami and my mother being from Cuba, my grandfather used to show me Kendrys Morales, videos of him in the Cuban League and the Cuban National League and all the different type of Latino players that he idolized, and then I became to idolize. So for me, getting in a clubhouse, you know, I wanted to communicate with those guys, and those guys wanted to communicate with us. And, you know, I don't have a problem saying this. There's some of the times in some of these clubhouses, it's the American guys that make it hard to communicate with a lot of these guys because they don't want change. It's a different culture. Why are those guys so loud? Why are they always talking like that? Blah, blah, blah. But the guys that we talked about in Kansas City, they wanted to be over there communicating with them. They wanted to get loud with them. They wanted to join that conversation. And I just think it took both parties of guys to really be like, listen, we're in this together. So even if I don't speak your language, I'm going to make it a point to try and figure out how to communicate with you. And that's why we're all family to this day.
Exactly. That's why I think we become like a family, you know? And believe it or not, I think that's how we win in big league, you know? Learn how to understand your teammate, take care of your teammate, you know, and just play hard as you can. And we know each other for a long time. All that group, we know each other for a long time. So I think that was big key to, you know, win and lose in 14 and win in 15.
Have you noticed a change in the guys in the clubhouse? When you guys were around each other, minor leagues, big leagues, you used to hang around, you used to go to dinner, you used to do a lot together on and off the field. Is that still the same sort of feel?
Now it's different. I wish, you know, it's a lot of, especially in Kansas City, last year was a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
I want to see now the other moves the team make in the offseason. I want to see how it's going to be this year. But yeah, last year was a lot of young guys. They just want to, you know, go even the people they know from minor league. You know, it's not a young guy like Maxi. Junior is different. Bobby with Junior, he's in another level. It's super caballo, Papa. And yeah, and so we go see. Now we have some few guys. They got a lot of years in big league. So hopefully it can be back like when we play.
You mentioned the Latin guys are loud. And there's one.
Some American people get mad.
Keep it down.
Keep it down 9 in the morning.
I never understood when we went out, you know, playing in America, when they walk on the field, you got the guy coming down from the first baseline, all the way out in the outfield. Oye, mi hermano! Like yelling across the field. I'm like, man, these guys are so loud. And I'm like, why are they so high? Like, they can't go over there and say hi? But when I was in Japan, there weren't many Americans, and when I saw one across the field, I was like, yo! What's up, brother? I was so happy. I was like, I get it, man, because it can be lonely. I mean, coming over here, you don't know the language. You cannot speak to anybody else. So it's like, your eyes light up, like, what's up, my man?
As soon as you know somebody speaks your language, you just want to, okay, let's go eat, ¿qué pasó, hermano, amigo, you know? That's the opportunity to say something to him.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
How about Venezuela, Papa? You got to play now, WBC a couple years.
Sí.
With Miggy, you know, prior years, Victor Martinez, and to be able to look up to those guys, and now those guys are your boys.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
Super crazy, Papa. When I come in from, I don't think I can be the guy I'm right now, you know? It's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of sacrifice, but everything is paid off. And thank God for everything. Yeah, super excited, play with Miggy. I think he's going to be a Hall of Fame. Victor Martinez, Marco Scutaro, I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, super excited. The WBC in Miami, that year was amazing, Papo. Even the Caribbean Series, I was there for the final. So it's good, I'm proud of myself.
Should be.
Good for you.
How about so you being a catcher, and in the beginning of your career, me and you same way. Everybody want us to work out and do all this type of stuff. It can help you with baseball, and we were like, okay, but why? We just want to go hit in the cage and play baseball. We don't think that's important, but now you got like 30 years in the big leagues at this point, and you're catching 130, 140 games. And earlier in your career, everybody say, hey, Salvy, you can't do this because when you get to the back end of your career, it's not going to help you. You're going to be tired. It's going to hurt your knees and all that type of stuff. And you just keep getting better and better and better, hitting 40 homers and all that. So how have you learned to now, I got to eat a little healthier sometimes. I got to work out. How have you learned to take care of your body?
Yeah, I wish I can listen to the people tell me there was too many games in my career. Yeah, but I think everything started in the off-season, and one of the guys motivation me was Alex Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
You know how hard he worked, too.
Machine.
So every day, it's crazy. Every day to the gym, Aroli Changma, 37 years old, he still throw 103, So when I look myself in the mirror, what kind of player you want to be? Or who you want to be in this game, okay? You just want to be a guy just make it to a big league, cup of coffee and bye-bye? Or you want to, do something good, So I think everything started in the off-season. We love to play. You know that. We play together for a long time, and we don't like to see ourselves out of the lineup, Because when you prepare yourself in the off-season for 162 games, I know it's super hard, and I get it when people tell me that, Salvy, it's hard to catch 162 games. But I catch 150 plus 17 in playoffs, so what's the difference, So I'm like, I'm ready. I prepare myself in the off-season. I trying to eat better. Arepa is so good, man. That's my wife. Arepa, right? Papa, no.
Hey, there would be times where we were sitting there in the locker after a game, and the bench coach would come up to Salvy, hey, you got tomorrow off. He said, no. Huh? And he goes right into the office with Ned, hey, Salvy wanted to play. I got to play him in there.
Please.
And we talk about all the time, lead by example, right? So as a guy like a guy like Gordon doesn't say much in the beginning. When you get to know him and all that, he definitely does. But a young player going in there, seeing the way he works out and how he sticks to his routine every single day, isn't that a prime time example of leading by example?
That is huge, because a lot of times what people will do, the young players, kind of like kids, we have children, they won't necessarily listen to what you say, but they'll watch what you do. And sometimes they'll just observe and watch, and you know how baseball players are, they'll just see what your cage work is like, see what your drill package is like as a pitcher or whatever, and that's so true, which leads me to, I was wondering, now that you do have the C on your jersey, did you have to make any changes? Did you make any adjustments?
No, I just tell the young guy, like, hey, don't be afraid to come in and talk to me, okay? I know now when I put my jersey to see, so they got a little bit more, like, respect. Or sometimes they kind of, I just say, shy to talk to me, And I do a meeting, and, hey, that's me. I thank Kansas City for this, but I don't want you the guys, see me some different, like Salvy now is a character, we have to be afraid to talk to her and all that. No, just come into me and talk to me. So, yeah, we got some really good group right now.
I think the reason why the Royals were so comfortable doing that kind of behind your back and saying, no, I think he's ready, is because you'd already accepted that role as captain. You said that you were already that guy. So there wasn't going to be a case where you got the C and then all of a sudden you thought, oh no, I've got to change everything now. I've got to be the captain. You were the captain, and they could see that, man. I knew that when I was there. You guys were all together. You were in there making sure it went well.
Even at 16 years old, the fact that you're willing to learn English, because hey, that can make me better on the field. I can have better communication with my pitcher. So that, I feel like, is you go back to that. Hey, he started this at a young age. So this guy, all those little check marks you need to be a captain, you've been proving it since you're 16 years old. Speaking of capitans, you got to
Capitan.
go Super Bowl this year. Watch Mahomes
Oh my
and
God.
Kelsey.
Hey, after
They
the
win
World
every year
Series,
now.
papi, after the win the World Series together, I think that was the second best thing happened in my life. That was my first and I think my only Super Bowl. You know, I'm kind of like Miguel Garcia. He like, Salvy, if we go to another Super Bowl and they lost, it's gonna be 2-1. But now it's 1-1, we still hit 1,000. So we don't should go any Super Bowl anymore. So, but I was super excited. Excited game, crazy game.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is from another level. But that was my first time. I was super excited for that game.
We talked to Bobby Witt the other day, and like you said, this guy, he young, but he on another level, Bobby. He's mentally, physically, he just seems like a good guy, humble guy. And, you know, we tell him now, hey, I remember in 14 when we were going to the playoffs, we were good. Raul Ibanez came into our clubhouse at 40-something years old, and he comes up to me, comes up to you and says, hey, you know, this is your guys' clubhouse. You tell me how I fit in here, what I need to do. We're like, Raul, you're 40-something years old. Like, you've been in the big leagues for 20-plus years, you know what I mean? So why are you coming up to us doing that? But, you know, that was what we built over there. So now, you know, you being the captain and your day-to-day, you're talking to the pitchers, the pitching coach. How much are you going to rely on Bobby now to be like, hey, listen, man, these young guys, you know, there's some times where you need to say some stuff to them. And are you guys in communication about that?
Yeah, 100%, but yes, it's easy for me because he act like he's 35 years, you know, 35 years. Like he been big league for 20 years already. So it's super easy to me. Hey, Junior, you take care of this. If something happens, just come in to me and I fix it. If you don't know how to fix it, just come in to me. But you have to do it because, believe it or not, you know, you're only 23, 24 or whatever, but you're going to be the next captain in Kansas City, you know? I don't have too much in my tank, so. So you got to be ready for that. So start right now, you know? And Papa, I like, it's unreal, you know?
Yeah.
I don't.
So mature.
To be super young at that age and think about like you 40 or something like that, it's impressive how that kid, you know?
Do you have any, just hearing you talk now, even since 2017, 18, my last couple of years, you've seemed to even matured even more. Do you have aspirations of maybe joining a front office or becoming a manager one day? I think you'd be a perfect manager at the big league level.
You know what?
Gabby said, no, come home, man. Hey, come on.
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't want to say no yet right now, but at least I want to have at least 2 years after, you know, seeing my kid right now.
Yeah.
Because it's a sacrifice, what I said in the beginning. It's a lot of hard work. And God bless me with a great wife because she took care of the kid, you know. But we go see, you know. You never know after being home and see my wife for too many days in the road. So I may be going a couple years with mama, like, I think it's time to go. So we know, you know. Yeah, we go see, maybe. I don't know right now.
Hey, so off the field.
You'll be like, Papa.
Obviously, hey, you want to come? Papa, this could be your seat every day, Papa. In the offseason now, I call this guy, hey, Papa, what you doing? Hey, I'm in Okeechobee, I'm hunting. What? Hunting? When did you start hunting?
That's Marco Scutaro's fault. I know him from the WBC in 2013 in Puerto Rico. So, and I don't know, he liked to fish, he liked hunting, you know, and I start to be around him a little more and I start to like it, you know. So every time Papa call me, hey, can you come to my house? We're going to watch football something. Papa, sorry, Okeechobee, man.
Okeechobee.
I got a couple of deals. I had to kill it tonight, Papa.
I said, okay, gringo, you gringo now.
See, Papa, but I like it. You know, now it's, you know, off season, we travel a lot. We take at least, you know, 12 or 15 days. My wife and I, we go to some different place. And we take the kids from somewhere else, Aruba. We love Aruba. And after that, like, okay, now it's my time. Let me go, you know, hunting a little bit. And we like to choose some play too.
You're good at it too.
Yeah, I like it.
They did one video, they shoot out a couple things, you go, ta, ta, okay, boom, cut
Before that, I missed like 1,000.
That's why you don't post it. Yeah, you don't post it.
Exactly.
So how important is it, a guy that works this hard and every day you're consistent to your routine, when the season is over, to decompress a little bit and take 10 to 12 days and then get back to work after that.
It's kind of like when you're doing a workout, a bench press or whatnot, and you're going, your muscles are tensing, they're tensing, and then you can't do any more. You need to rest. The same is true for the mind, for the energy. There are 3 finite resources we always talk about. You have limited time, you have limited attention, and limited energy. And to be able to point your attention to relax and to recover and to spend time with your family. One thing we've already been talking, you talk about your wife all the time, even in this little conversation, talking about your being a dad. How do you balance being the best player you can be, and also, maybe balance isn't the right word, how do you have harmony in between being the best player and also being a great husband and being a great father? Because you'll read these stories, the greats in any industry, a lot of times they pursue greatness in their craft, but at the expense of family or being a dad. How have you been able to have that harmony?
Yeah, it's sometimes a little hard, but at the same time, at my age, you have to separate, that's the thing. As soon as you close that door in the clubhouse, okay, now it's time to work, That's how I bring the food to the table for all my family, even the people in Venezuela that I have. So I have to be concentration, I have to be locked in, And after the game's over, couple eyes, okay, now I can go and take care of my family. That's the way that I look at it. Even I think be a catcher, teach me, and I learn from separate that 2 things. Because a catcher, if I strike out, bases loaded, I have to be concentration. After I strike out, it's done. Go push your grill, and you have to go think about it, how we're gonna make the guy out, or how he missed last at bat, something like that. But if I combine that too, and I, take my frustration or something to the home plate, it's not gonna work. I'm not gonna help my pitcher to be available to make that guy out.
It's a great point.
So that's when you start in this game and you're by yourself, it's one thing, and then when you get a wife and you have kids, it's very important that you do. If you take that mood home with you, then you're not only having a bad day at baseball, then you get home, then your wife's pissed off with you, then your kid doesn't want to hang around you, and everything starts to build up, and then the frustration is just going to carry on. If you can shut that down, especially as a reliever, man, for me, if I have a bad outing, I've got to forget about it by the time I walk out that clubhouse, because it'll drain on me until that next time I'm out there. We don't get many opportunities per year to prove ourselves, and when you give up runs, it's like, oh my God. And in my situation, it can be looking over your corner, maybe getting sent home. So to take those frustrations and just wipe them as soon as you get home and enjoy life with your family, it's the most important thing.
He's speaking in generalities because you had a lot of appearances with the Atlanta, I believe, right? You're record holder. I think.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys read that this morning, but there was
85.
That's right. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. Yeah. So as I was talking about myself,
it's interesting that you do say that. So there was a guy who was a special forces instructor, and we were talking about how do you separate work from home? How do you walk into your house the best version of yourself? And I asked him how he did it. We were in a group of us, and he said that he would just what he wears. So he would wear his uniform and he'd wear it home. But what he noticed over the course of his career, he would take his work home. And he didn't, like yourself, he didn't know how to separate. And the one thing he did, two things. The first thing was he changed his clothes before he left the clubhouse, his work. So let me get back into my regular civilian clothes. And then when he was driving home, he had a little sticky note on his driver's wheel that says, how do you want to show up to your house today? And so it was a decision that he's like, okay, and he said he would sit in a car sometimes when he wasn't ready to walk in with a good attitude, he would sit there and wait, take a few breaths and say, okay, I'm ready to walk in with a good attitude to my wife, to my kids, because I don't want to bring it home. So I just think it's really cool how you've learned to separate that. I think it's very important.
I think be a catcher. It's gonna, at some point, it's gonna make you do that. Mm-hmm. Be separate hitting from defense. So I think that's how I learned about that.
I never thought about how that separation has happened that fast. You give a bat at bat, you could sit in the dugout. Like, I don't have to put gear on, just mosey back out to whatever position and still thinking about it, taking a ground ball, flipping it over there, still pissed off.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's hard for teach the young guy to learn that.
Right.
Sometimes they strike out and, I try to blow some pitch, work hard, and you right field. Yes. Call foul away. soon as he get to the dugout, I'm like, man, I need to talk to you. Yeah. What's wrong with you?
They say don't take your at-bats. They say don't take your at-bats out of the field, but that's one thing for a middle infielder or even an outfielder, because you're going to get maybe one ball an inning. You got to be locked in straight away, man.
Exactly.
You're putting down the call, and you got to be, okay, let it go. Let's lock in on how we get these next 3 guys out.
Exactly. Now with the pitch come, you don't have that kind
Yeah,
of time.
that's right.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So I've talked to some catchers, and correct me, you know way better than I do. Could you tell as a catcher when some pitchers are losing focus or they're not as confident?
100%.
Can you as a pitcher, right? And so can you as a pitcher tell when a catcher is taking an 0 for 4 day behind the dish and he's not focused?
He might not. Yeah, it's things like a normal frame job will be a drop, or he won't put an effort in on a ball that's 2 or 3 inches off the plate to try and steal that call. He'll just let it, be a ball and throw it back. So I could definitely see it, not with him because he was locked in all the time, but there'll be times where there'll be guys that will take a lazy approach because they're like, oh man, I'm 0 for 4. It might be a 1-run game, but your 0 for 4 has had more weight in your mind than what you could potentially do between now and the end of the game.
Yeah.
Even if you go for 4, 1 block, it can win the game. And you can beat the guy. Even if you just strike out 4 times. I struck out 5 times one day in White Sox. And I had to throw somebody out in second base. And that's how we win that game. Right. So now that in my 32 years old, that I learned that I see a young guy doing the opposite, sometimes it's kind of hard for me. I'm like, how do I can teach this guy that it's not about you, it's just about everybody, it's about the thing, it's about the jersey that you put it on every night. It's not like we got some guy play for us. They just, if they hit and we lose, they come into each say, hey, we got it tomorrow. But if we win and they don't get hit, and he knows, I
know that guy.
Yeah, you know. So it's kind of hard sometimes to just see that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And okay, let me ask you this. And you don't have to answer this. This is going to be a tough question for you.
Okay, but
I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. All right,
I'm sorry for doing that.
I was the last time in the World Series. I don't think any harder than that. And the next one.
MVP también. So in a world now, you talk about catching. I need to block a ball that can win a game. I need to be locked in to call these pitches and this sequence on this guy. Boom, I throw this guy out. Boom, I hit 40 homers in a season. So in a world now where catching, and I'm just going to say this right now, it pisses me off to see how much disrespect they have on you when they rank all the catchers, top 10, this, and this, because in my opinion, you're not only a Hall of Famer, you're arguably one of the best catchers of all time.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah.
So in a world now where they care about, pitch framing and different things that maybe they value the wrong things a little too much, how do you not care about any of that stuff? Because you just continue to stay locked in, focus, and you keep getting better and better each year.
Yeah. I don't trying to, to see, they Instagram, they send me that, what they think, or top 10 catcher in baseball. You don't need it there. You don't need the number 10. They just care about framing right now, Papa. This is spring training. They coming to me and tell me, and we're gonna say this too. It's 83% about framing, 5% about blocking, and 13% about throwing people out. So which percent you gonna take? They're framing. We got almost a month in the spring training, and I don't do 1 day of blocking. Only 1 throw to second base. They just care about framing. And as a, big guy, it's kind of hard for me. So I would change my position every game. Try to get low as I can, and try to, give it whatever they want. They just care about framing right now.
You knee down?
Yeah, I do both knees down. Okay. I wish I can go to bed like that. No, I can, but I can't now. So yeah, they just care about framing right now. So I'm trying to, it's something new for me. When I got to a big league, Chino Carajilla, they just teach me how to just let the ball come into you. Let the ball get to you, okay? So I was, for 17 years, I just let the ball come into me. So now it's something new. The last 3 years, I think it was 2020 or 2021, I was 28 worse in framing. 2022, I was 16. 2023, I was 10. I still bad, but better. You know, I don't know if you guys understand that. I feel malo or good. You know? So I think my goal this year is to be plus.
Right.
You know? So it's something new. I have to work, you know, I have to get ready. And that's one of my goals this year.
It's crazy how the game changes as someone who's so seasoned and has had so much success has to make a complete adjustment to their game because of analytics mostly. I mean, like, is that ruining the game? The way, like, you calling a game with your pitcher and getting outs, is that overtaking that? Like, is it going that far that it's like?
I think they're they may be trying to get the most out of framing before they go to an automatic strike zone, or like we talked about the other night, if it goes full auto, then the value of a catcher kind of disappears.
100%.
If you're able to steal,
You just go like this and still a strike.
if you're able to steal a strike, it could completely change an at bat and completely change an inning. And I guess it's the importance of being able to get those little edges and making sure that they're strikes instead of balls
Well,
for your pitcher.
what does the framing even do if there's an auto zone? If it
That's
crosses
right.
the plate, right, and you catch it like this, but it went through it caught it, you know, through the auto zone. What does it matter how you even frame?
It's
That's
like-
going to go down to 0%.
I see every catcher, every drill is they start with their glove low and they come up and
Yeah,
they
I
try to
see that
catch
now,
it in
man.
one motion to try and fool an umpire. I guess it's got to be it, because a lot of the times you're catching it pocket down, and then by the time you grab it into the strike zone, it looks like a strike. So I think that's what.
Yeah, that was. But I don't like that, because they always like, it's like you lying to the umpire.
Right.
You know. So okay, let me put steroids and I lie to everybody. You know, because I get strong, mucho homer. You don't want nobody to do that. So why would you be lying to the umpire? Just catch where the ball are and let the umpire make that decision.
I watched Ryan Levanway actually came and caught in the Australian Baseball League, and I'd watched 15 catchers come through the team and have conversations with umpires, and he was the best one that I've ever seen. He wouldn't try and frame something that was that far outside, which a lot of guys do. He would just let it go and throw it back. But then when there was one that was really tight, he'd lock it in there, and you could see the umpire say, okay, well, he did this on the other one. If he's locking that one in, it must be a strike. So, and it was crazy. And he'd just talk to the umpires. He'd have a relationship with the umpires. You can get as much from an umpire with just being nice to them without having to steal everything.
And that's part of the confusion now, I think, for the umpires is when you're doing that every pitch, they're battling that. So it throws them off. And I'm sure there's plenty of umpires that have, when you're behind the plate, you know, you guys are working together back there because he wants to have the best vision possible to make that call. So I'm sure a lot of umpires are saying, Salvy, this is crazy, man. This is making it harder for us.
Everybody, they don't like it. They don't like the framing. They don't like that, because now it's kind of hard for them. You know, they get report every game.
And they're graded with that screen on the box on the screen.
Exactly.
It's instant.
Some catchers, they really do really good job, Papa, when framing. Trevino from the New York Yankees. Yeah. And Flower was the guy that was in the break. He was, I think he started all this. But he was one of the best. So now the umpires kind of like, oh. So now I feel like everything, too much moving, they're going to call ball. So you have to be quiet. Still doing, but just quiet. Just hold it right there. So I think it's going to make better look for the umpire.
That's true what you were saying. Talk about your relationship. What's the importance of a catcher's relationship with the umpire? What's that like?
I think I don't remember if I got throughout the game one time. I think it was a one time. I don't remember that. And yeah, you guys, maybe Papa know me, you guys, he know me. So I'm kind of, you know, I'm trying to have like good relation with the umpire. And at some point he's gonna say like, Salvy, so nice, let me give me that pitch. I got you, Salvy. Okay, you know.
That happened a lot, Baba. That's how you're
Yeah. So now you know, huh? So yeah, I think, you know, some people like, we need to understand they are a human. So one bad call is not gonna make you anything. We got 3 chances to hit the ball. If you call one strike back, just trying to, you know, forget about that and concentration for the next 2 pitches. I think have a good relationship with the umpire is the key.
I love that game, even as a hitter, because we're not around them nearly as much, but you chit chat, whether it's before the game or when they're, you know, I'm playing third and they're umping third, whatever it is. So you get that relationship. But I always loved the little intricacies of like one that's just off, or I think it's just off, calls a strike. I'm like, all right, Jim. I was like, I feel like that's a little off. He goes, no, I think got the corner. I'm like, all right, I think it's pretty close. Next one's right there, ball. It's like, all right, I got that one. I earned that one. Like, I love that. But like, no, probably nowhere near as many chances as he would get.
And on the flip side of that, you've earned this reputation now. I remember going into St. Louis as a young player, and you take a ball that's, maybe just off, and Yachty turns around to the umpire and says, hey, where you got that, Bobby? Yeah. That's outside? Huh. I'm like, I better swing at this. They are calling a strike for Yachty. 100%. 100% throwing a strike. But when you were talking about something earlier, you brought up Instagram, and I immediately thought of the videos of you and Lolo Kane.
Oh my God.
You're always
Everybody loved those videos.
Yeah, Lolo Kane, man. Hermanito Kane. Crazy guy. But believe it or not, I think he liked it. He don't like it. Yeah.
What was the video? What did the videos?
Every day, Papa?
Every day. Kane would be, Kane, he would always be like, hey, I'm tired and my feet hurt, boy. And he'd walk around there like an old man. And then all of a sudden, ball hitting the gap, and he just boom, 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 boom. So then every time Kane was a body guy. He needed to be on the training table getting stretched out and then go do his warm-up. That was more important for him than going in the cage and taking 30, 40 swings before a game. So that was his routine. So there was times where he'd be on his iPad playing Clash of Clans. He was all over this game every day.
Like $1 million
In the shower.
He really spends a lot of money on this thing. So just picture Kane face down on the training table. He's got his iPad there, and then all of a sudden you see Salvy pop up there. Anita! Hey, talk to the people, man. He said, get that camera out of my face, man. But towards the end, he started to love it. Yeah.
I don't do it for 2 days. And he coming to me, hey, are you okay?
Everybody wanted it too.
A video, Papa.
So the fans in Kansas City said, hey, Salvy, more videos. Come on. Oh, that was so
They
good.
blew up. They blew up at that time when you got him, you and him getting on there. People were loving that.
Yeah. I win an award, the Instagram award.
That's right, you won an award for it.
MLB. I got in my house. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, you love the camera, Papa. I told you.
Yeah, man, you did good, man.
A little bit.
Yeah. Hey, you said 15 minutes? Oh, 40 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, man.